Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and when we went to break, I was talking with Pamela Price. Pamela is a candidate for the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. Pamela, you in your platform indicate that you're against the death penalty and that you would not, I guess, charge anybody with death penalty. Don't some people really deserve to be put to death for crimes they commit? I don't know.
I have the moral courage to say no. I don't get to decide. Personally, I don't think any of us.
You get the opportunity to charge him with a death penalty.
That's true. And the governor in California has put a moratorium on the death penalty. So charging someone with the death penalty in California is a useless act. What it does is increase the cost to the taxpayers, because now the public defender and the DA's office have to spend far more resources, to try to, putting together a case for a death penalty is very different from putting together a case without a death penalty. So we're spending money needlessly, uselessly, as an effort to try to intimidate people, or I suppose make people feel better that, oh, we're going to put this person to death.
And sometimes people put to death who are innocent. That's just a fact of life. So, and you can't undo what you've already done.
Exactly.
You talk about hold police accountable for misconduct. What do you mean by that?
Right now, Santa Rita County Jail has one of the worst reputations for deputies that regularly abuse and violate the constitutional rights of inmates, of people who are there. And our
You mean out at Santa Rita?
At Santa Rita County Jail. That's just endemic.
Well, what's going on out there?
The sheriff
the sheriff
AAC.
The sheriff is up for election himself.
And the sheriff is up for election. The sheriff is running in collaboration with some of the candidates in this race. Our sheriff has a terrible reputation nationally.
He does?
Oh, it's terrible because he does not feel that people who are incarcerated need to be treated like human beings, and he violates the Constitution regularly. And our county regularly pays millions of dollars, and right now we're under notice from the Department of Justice that if we do not clean up Santa Rita and John George, we're going to be in receivership. The Board of Supervisors has received a notice from the Department of Justice. That's how bad the conditions are at Santa Rita. And so the only person that can hold the jail accountable and the sheriff accountable for the conditions at the jail is the district attorney. Also, when you look at local police who violate people's constitutional rights, internally, they should have controls to fire bad cops, but that hasn't happened traditionally. And so we really need a district attorney that is prepared to hold officers accountable.
Well, in Oakland, we have a police commission.
We do, and I've worked with strengthening that police commission. I actually was part of some litigation on behalf of the Coalition of Police Accountability to try to make sure that the police commission has a greater voice in regulating our police department. Unfortunately, we were unsuccessful, and so that struggle is ongoing.
You talk about establishing prosecutorial accountability and the conviction integrity unit. I don't quite understand what you mean by that. That's too sophisticated for a poor little old country lawyer like me.
Our prosecutors are not held accountable for the kind of justice that we administer. And what that means is that studies have shown the racial disparities that we see in charging, in plea bargains, in sentencing, and in probation and parole revocations, and releasing people, whether they get released on parole. All of that is largely influenced by the prosecutor's decisions. And so what studies have found is the racial bias inside the prosecutor's office that is driving the racial injustices as well as mass incarceration. Prosecutors have been focused on getting convictions versus finding justice. And so my desire, my mission is to hold prosecutors accountable to the mission of administering justice in a fair and compassionate way that does not overcriminalize youth or people with mental illness, that doesn't judge people by the color of their skin or their national origin or their religion. And those are the kinds of judgments that have just devastated our community. And so that's the system that I want to build. And to do that, I have to hold prosecutors accountable. And I have to have a conviction integrity unit to look back to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes of the past.
Well, that's important, not to make the same mistakes of the past. We're going to have to go to break, but before we do, yes. Could you explain why the Philadelphia District Attorney endorsed you?
Yes, I'm proud to have the endorsement of the Philly DA, Larry Krasner. Larry led the progressive movement. He was elected by a landslide in Philadelphia in 2017. He came and endorsed us in 2018, and he's rejoined us in 2022 because Larry knows that I am a person who is a champion for justice, that I am someone that believes in my community, that will represent my community, that believes in fairness and accountability. And a lot of the programs, the innovative programs that we know have worked in Philadelphia, we can have those in Alameda County.
Well, I'm I'm impressed. A champion for justice. Yes. We're going to have to go to break. Don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, just put it down. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and we're talking with Pamela Price, who is a candidate for the Alameda County District Attorney. We'll be right back.